Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another presentation of the Overwatch All-Star Trials here at Star Esports. My name is Shy Guy, and I'll be your color commentator for the evening as we dive into an excellent Division 1 matchup here tonight. We've got Astray taking on SubZero, and I'm going to be joined now by my partner in crime for the evening. Joining me on this journey, it's going to be Tim Porrell. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing tonight?
I'm very well, thank you, Shy, and I'm really looking forward to tonight's action. I guess they're looking at these two teams, the way they've been running at the moment. Astray, of course, sitting at the top of their division. So I'm looking forward to see what they pull out, just how well they play. I'm also looking forward to see what SubZero running. Honestly, just based on the name to begin with, I'm expecting a lot of May coming out from them.
And I would love to see, that is such a power pick in the current meta right now. The ability to freeze up multiple targets with her primary of fire is an excellent option to set up crucial picks at the moment. And I do have a feeling she'll have a role in the series here tonight. You know, I'm coming into this and I am especially excited to see what Astray is bringing to the table. This is the first time that I will get a chance to see this team play, but I am not entirely unfamiliar. A lot of these names are people that I have seen floating around the tier 3 scene for quite a while now. They've now landed together on Astray and are trying to make a run of it, and I'm excited. You know, guys like Crimson, Rory, Chinese Food, these are people that I'm pretty familiar with, and to get to see them under a new banner is always exciting.
Yeah, it is indeed. And so far, they've managed to produce the goods. As I said earlier, they're sitting at the top of the division. They've done just looking at the amount of points they've racked up too. They've had a really great time of it. So they've come together well. As you said, there's two names I've seen before. They've managed to excuse the pun, coalesce. So yeah, it'll be. I think the pressure will be on SubZero here to shut down that momentum that Astray has going. And though, as I say, that SubZero is sitting at second in the divisions at the moment. They're the closest rivals that Astray have. So essentially, we've got a clash of the titans here. The top two teams going at it. This could be what decides the fate of this division at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you mentioned kind of the points that Astray has been able to rack up so far. They've got a commanding lead over the rest of the division at the moment, but this is an opportunity for SubZero to come in and narrow that gap a little bit to make this a competitive race as we head towards the tail end of this season-long format. And, you know, if you're Astray, this is a huge opportunity as well to kind of continue to put distance between you and the rest of the field. If you come away with a win here tonight, you can kind of rest easy at that point in a certain respect. You've given yourself a lot of breathing room at the very least.
Yep, and of course it's just and they keep winning. It's just a lot of momentum. It just feeds on itself. You win, you keep winning, you get momentum. You've got momentum, you keep winning.
Absolutely. We'll see if they can keep that momentum rolling here tonight against SubZero, as now we get things started here on Lijiang Tower.
Damn, we'll see if SubZero have the chance to freeze out the momentum. Of course, you know, you apply a colder air to a moving object, it will slow it down. I'm glad my limited science education has paid off in a small way. Anyway, we do go to Lijiang Tower here, though. And what kind of compositions do you expect to see here, particularly on gardens as we start out?
You know, this is an opportunity for teams to break out the Pharah if that's a hero pick that they like to go to. But, you know, even, you know, since we are on a control map, that this is the one place where that really becomes an exceptionally viable strategy. And indeed, we might be in for it. Chinese Food teasing it at the moment. I'm never going to get too confident about picks in spawn room, but it's something that makes sense, even as he swaps away and dashes my hopes and dreams.
Yeah, it's not to be. And for a brief moment, Churro was sitting on the Winston there, but no, we will see essentially the mirror. Oh, actually, the mirror compositions coming out here for the double shields.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the standard comp right now. The double shields, the Doomfist Reaper DPS duo, and that Moira Lucio backline. This is as standard as it gets in Overwatch at the moment. We'll see who comes out on top.
Yes, both teams actually chose alternate ways to the point. We saw the blue team running around on the bridge, whereas the red team ran through the room on the side. And as the picks start open this fight, Crimson and Nistrik going down. It's 1-for-1 for each team. So with the tank line down, for blue, I think I got mine sticking us the wrong way around. It will be much harder for them to survive here on the point as we see the DPS go down as well. This will be a pickup for the red team.
Yeah, SubZero going to SubZero going to come away with the fight win here to kick things off. They get things started off on the right foot, and as you said, that main, taking out the main tank on the other side was kind of the big turning point there. Yes, they lost their Moira mid fight, but she can get back much quicker than Crimson was able to, and they win the fight at the end of the day.
Yeah, we'll see where Astray chooses to come from now. They've actually chosen the room approach this time as well. As the Coalescence coming out from Switch here. Trev will get stunned, but not able to quite be taken down. HK Broke gets the better of Chinese food in that fight, and Nistrik goes down this time. So it looks like good for Astray as Rory is on fire here. That's 3 kills in the middle of that fight, and Khan finishes off with the Gravitic Flux. That'll be Astray flipping the point over at 37%.
The quad kill there for Rory is exactly what they need in that fight, and he comes through in the clutch, and now they get that quick retake that they needed. They commit the Gravitic Flux as well. So on the other side, SubZero about to come back in with a war chest, just ready to go for this fight.
Yeah, Cash will have that Gravitic Flux available for SubZero, and the Sand Barrier comes out from Omix here as well. But it's not enough. We're going to see members going down left, right, and center for SubZero. Chinese Food picking up 3 kills at that there with a little left-hand punch from Cash to finish it off.
Yeah, and that's just a case of essentially Astray commits almost everything to that fight, and there's really not a whole lot that SubZero can do about it on the approach. They lose their main tank to an environmental kill as well, and that just kind of ends any hopes they had of turning it around. We'll see if they can do it now. They've got the ult advantage coming into this fight.
Although Crimson opens up with that supercharger there, another Coalescence to Switch. It's not enough to keep Chinese Food alive as Trev just burns through them both. Switch's Coalescence finally finished off Cash. We see the Death Blossom come out from Trev. It gets a bit of work done, doesn't get any direct kills, but the rest of the SubZero is able to finish off. And it looks like if they're able to kill this Lucio, yes, they will be able to finish this fight. Not quite. There you go. Chinese Food, a little bit more stall.
About a few seconds there, but the flip comes in time now for SubZero, that even if they lose another fight, they'll be able to come in for a recontest. That's a crucial kind of break point there. A little bit more stall could have been devastating, but the flip comes through in time, and now they're going to get to reset into pretty neutral territory when it comes to that ultimate economy.
Yeah, the HK Broke uses the only ultimate available at the moment, the Meteor Strike. Where will they choose to put it? Bang! Down onto multiple members of Astray. That's a really great start there. And HK Broke. I hope he got nothing bound. Obviously got nothing bound to HK because they're able to pull off a few kills out of that fight.
No, just beautifully set up by the halt from Churro to make as much as possible out of that one ultimate that they had going into that fight, and now it's brought them to the point that they are in one fight territory. If they can come away with this next engagement, Gardens will be theirs.
Although Astray's opening up with most of their ultimates here. We see the Gravitic Flux come out, Rory able to pick off SubZero's supercharger in the back of that, then goes down the Trev. And that Sand Barrier from Omixi will keep the members of SubZero alive, but it's not enough. We see the tank line going down. Some solid work there from Khan, and then Chinese Food following up onto Trev as well. Astray able to they're going to flip this back in overtime. So themselves going into 1 or 2 fight territory here.
Yeah, no, it's ultimately going to come down to this final fight, and really, not a whole lot of difference again between these two teams when it comes to ultimate. The Gravitic Flux probably going to get traded for that Sound Barrier, which once again sets up HK Broke as potentially the decisive tool coming into this fight.
So Aero, yeah, I guess lucky they have that Sound Barrier. It will come out now. It won't really get you up. Well, Mixie goes down to start that fight. Actually, sorry, they did counter that Gravitic Flux very well. It looks like Astray will hold on to this point. They'll let the overtime wick burn down and take out the first point of Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, and the supercharger is really what breaks the back of SubZero as they try to make their final approach. They get lifted up in the air, and even they try to lift everyone up into the air and can't capitalize on the kills, and then they just run into their deaths. Crimson throws down the bongos, and they just fall one by one.
Yep, we'll see whether or not SubZero can bring it back here on Control Center, and whether or not either team chooses to switch trade compositions. I feel it was quite even on that first point. We did see it go to, of course, to 99% at one point. So neither team really wanting to swap off here.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, if you were going to, this is an opportunity for it. The May could have been a power pick here on Control Center, but no, we stay the course at this point. Neither team willing to give an inch up on the high ground right now.
Yeah, so both teams just a big mirror here, although Crimson is the first to fall in that fight. They've lots of focus going to the Rissa. Great work from SubZero. They push forward with that pressure now. We see Cash gets stunned a little bit, but is able to get away with that. And based on that, it looks like, yeah, Astray will fall back and allow SubZero to start the capture on the points, and no, they won't try and challenge just yet.
But they'll have a good opportunity to come back in here for a 5v6 fight. They got a late pick, and Trev not back in the fight just yet.
Oh, HK Broke going down at the start of that fight. Chinese Food going very deep, able to get that kill. And it looks like, yeah, SubZero will just fall straight back, and Astray will flip the point straight back to themselves.
Yeah, and all it takes is a little bit of overextension from Trev and a rocket fist from Chinese Food to flip that one back immediately. Well played there by Astray.
Oh, Chinese Food opening again onto HK Broke. That's the kind of start you want. And then all of a sudden, that coalescence thrown in by Nistrik, not really getting much value. Keeping a few members alive, but if not enough for HK Broke. And we see all this. The Meteor Strike comes out for Chinese Food on top of the Cash. The tank's going down for SubZero. We'll see the rest of the members burnt down as well. And Astray will hold on to this point.
No, they will, and they will be set up quite well to continue that hold for some time yet. Though the opportunity for SubZero is there. They're coming in with a Flux, the Sound Bearer, and that Death Blossom as well. So the tools to flip it back are there.
Yeah, Astray chooses to take the engage early. Chinese Food opens up the fight again. Rory comes over the top with a great Death Blossom as well. And they'll finish that off, only having invested one ultimate in that fight. Great fight for Astray.
That is absolutely beautiful. They just jump right on top of them. They don't even give an opportunity for SubZero to use what they have at their disposal. And now that's going to set you up nicely for this potentially last fight as the approach comes in from SubZero.
And the Supercharger comes out from Crimson to see the Gravitic Flux as well coming from Cash. On the other side, not able to get into both Superchargers going down at the start of that fight. We do see Trev going down as well. A lot of ultimates invested from Astray. Not many kills at the start of the fight, but we do see one coming through now onto HK Broke. And Cass, with the Gravitic Flux and card taking out Cash. Trev trying to get one back with the Death Blossom, but it's not going to be enough. Chinese Food will put the fist down and say, no Death Blossom for you.
Yeah, that final fight kind of comes down to the wire, and it's really a crucial pivot as Omixay uses the Sound Bearer
coming back to the Wrecking Ball.
Wow, there we go. Rory finally puts a stop to it. The stall still coming in here, but that's pretty much all said and done. As a
one way to get rid of a Wrecking Ball.
Yeah, they're gonna come away with map 1, and they played that final fight really well. Karn especially, in my mind, he saw the Sound Bearer come out on the other side, and as soon as it starts to fade, the Gravitic Flux is there to really shut things down, keep SubZero off the point, and after a close first point, Astray really find their footing there on Control Center.
Yeah, and on your point about that Sound Barrier coming out, it's quite difficult if you're running into it. If you're running into a team with a full bank of ultimates, if you're Omixay, you've just got to choose the best time to use that Sound Barrier. It's always going to be a risk. Do I use it now and save lives now, or do I hold it and hope that I'm going to make more of an impact later? Of course, they used it at the start of the fight the Gravitic Flux came out and just messed with them after that. And unfortunately, it's not enough for SubZero, and Astray will, in the end, of quite a dominant showing, put themselves up 1-0 in this series.
And the even kind of more tragic thing about that sound barrier is it comes in just like a split second late to actually save his Doomfist. HK broke.
Yeah, HK broke
down right before that sound barrier comes through, and you really they wind up in a situation that's, you know, kind of unavoidable, but you get neither of the benefits at that point, and it's just, you know, that's the nail in the coffin there for SubZero as they were trying to make a comeback. They aren't able to do it, but now we move on to map number 2. They put up a good showing on that first point of Lijiang Tower, so you at this point just kind of throw that out of your mind. We want to forget that Control Center ever happened. Let's move on to, you know, Horizon Lunar Colony and try to bring this series back.
Well, thematically though, Horizon Lunar Colony very similar to Control Center. It's kind of spacey. It's indoors.
Yeah, the aesthetic is basically identical. This is not a good place to forget. It's like when you break up with your girlfriend and then you start dating a girl who looks exactly like her. It's just not healthy. So we'll see if SubZero are going to be able to put that out of mind and try to make a comeback here.
And we'll see if any they choose to make any changes as well. Because if you teams, if you find you're not standing up in the mirror matchup, you need to change things up. If you just need to. We'll see if HK is actually broke, and maybe they've got something other than the Doomfist. I know we're going to reserve judgment on the attacking team, but
yeah,
they're not.
I do not believe you, Genji, in attacker spawn. I am wary. I have casted many games. I've seen this before. The Junkrat on the other side from Chinese Food is an interesting look to me here, going all in on kind of a shield busting composition. In this case, with the damage boost that he'll be receiving from Arrow, that has potential to tear through that Orisa and Sigma barrier, especially if they try take high ground. He can just rain in rockets.
And if he can stop, if they, I'm going to reserve my judgment for 2 seconds until they're all out of spawn. Are they coming on that Genji? Oh, Sombra's scouting ahead. Okay, so we see, yeah, just Trev just scouting ahead, see what they're running. They'll probably, there you go, they've seen the Junkrat now. We'll see if they choose to make any changes or they want to stick with what they're running.
You know, the Sombra is not necessarily a pick that has to change, but definitely can if they just want to run the meta here. I think they're fine with this. They think they have the better comp in this situation. So SubZero just going to roll with kind of the standard at this point. Yep,
but the DPS want to be very careful if they're going in aggressive. They don't want to get stuck in a trap and get taken out very quickly. Although Churro with a very quick on the switch. I think the switch was knocked down from the high ground there.
I believe it was a halt that took him off, either that or a boot to set it up. Either way, it starts them off right, but they can't.
Does not matter. Yeah, Rory with a 3K in the lap. Oh, another one on Mixie as well. Oh, that's unfortunate for SubZero there after that great start.
Yes, well, I mean, making your way to the point on this low ground against a Doomfist is so treacherous because he can just drop off of that high ground platform as he's charging the rocket punch. It's incredibly viable. There's so many walls for him to knock you into that Rory just goes wild, and he kind of saves the defense there for his team.
Yeah, we see Rory going very deep there as SubZero's coming in. HK broke the first to fall though in that fight. Chinese Food doing a great job of picking off that Doomfist, and now we see the members of SubZero just stuck underneath the high ground that Astray is sitting on. Astray kindly letting them out, actually. Oh, let's see. Are they going to wait or they're going to push? It looks like they're going to wait for HK Broke to come back, actually, though the Riptire from Chinese Food, they're hunting down the members. Not able to get any kills, able to do a fair bit of damage, though, with that.
Okay, the round switch. They chased him into the room and it backfires.
Oh, the resurrection does come into the switch, but HK Broke does not care. He's gonna punch their way through. Trev and Cash get on the action as well. We see Arrow popping the Valkyrie very late, not able to get anything done with that high damage Mercy Blaster. And SubZero will take this point with minute 40 on the clock.
Astray, they thought they had SubZero trapped in that small room, but it turns out it's the other way around. The commitment from Rory, a bit too much in my opinion. Tries to take the Meteor Strike to follow up on the damage done by that Riptire in the first place, but he gives his life for it and doesn't find anything, and now they're in trouble.
Yeah, SubZero taking out position straight away in the point. Cash chooses to invest the Gravitic Flux as well. Khan retaliates, gets a few members, but doesn't get any kills off the back of that. The Chinese Food is able to swoop in, get a couple of kills there. Crimson goes down on the defending side. But
they're not ready to give this up just yet.
No, the player advantage is with Astray, but the supercharge out from Choro just keeping them alive. But the Rory gets in there, able to take down Trev in the middle of that attacking group. Chinese Food goes down, and Rory, though, doesn't care. Just jumps in there, punches people around. Can't get in the kill, HK broken. That will be the attack stymied for SubZero.
Hindsight is 2020, but that's a bit of a questionable decision there from the side of SubZero to continue on with that fight when you were down 5v4 at that point. Your spawns are much further. To commit the sound barrier to sustain a little while longer doesn't wind up working out for them because they can't secure any kills, and now they find themselves behind.
The supercharger coalescence combination coming out, and Rory in the middle are able to get the pick on the HK broke. And they've Astray going very aggressive here. Rory going down as perhaps a little bit of too aggressive there. Nishtrick, got the kill to Rory. It's just an all-out brawl in the corner here. Chinese Food opens up with the Death Blossom. Oh, Trev over the top with a counter Death Blossom. Both Lucios going down, and we will pause there as SubZero gets the advantage of that fight.
Okay.
And Nishtrick dropped out. Oh, that's going to make it a bit harder for SubZero to sustain there.
Yeah, they do have still a man advantage on the point at the moment, so
they don't have any healing though.
Yeah,
Mixie has gone down and Nishtrick disconnected. They'll both be in spawn.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty rough. That should put a stop to this. Maybe they're able to get a tick if they can wipe out the last couple members of Astray very quickly, but that'll probably stop this one in the bud. A little unfortunate there. The realities of online competition coming up and biting SubZero here on Horizon Lunar Colony. What was looking like a great push, highlighted by that beautiful Death Blossom from Trev, is now probably dead in the water.
Yeah, but on the bright side, if you looking at the ultimate percentages across the board, of course, Nishtrick will come back with no ultimate percentage. I think SubZero is slightly in the lead when it comes to ultimates. They've already got the Gravitic Flux. They've already got the Meteor Strike. They'll have a sound barrier relatively quickly, and not only really the sound barrier on the side of Astray. Because it's kind of switched kind of close. So there's a very, very small window, I feel, for SubZero to make another quick push. Mixie comes back with that speed boost, able to get Nishtrick there with that fade as well. They've got a very small window in which they will have an advantage coming into the next fight.
Yes, my question now is going to be, how does SubZero try to play out the remainder of this fight? Do they just turn tail and regroup with the healers? Because they've still got 4 alive in the area of the point. Everybody but those 2 healers is ready to go, and they can get back to the point quite quickly. There's potential here to buy something, but that's a dangerous proposition. It allows if it fails, it allows the defense to get some more ult charge and find their footing. So it's a tough call.
I think, just looking at the player positioning, I can see only Rory and Crimson are alive for Astray, and Crimson is in the doorway to the point. So between Cash and HK Broke, I can't quite see where Trev is, but there's maybe SubZero is probably sitting there, Cash and HK Broke just looking at Crimson, licking their lips going, "You're mine, horsey, you're mine."
They're all right there. Churro and Trev are just by the entrance where SubZero was making their approach. They are right over by HK Broke, so they are all ready to pounce on top of Crimson. That Orisa not going to last for very long, so they should at least come away with a tick here. And they could potentially just keep this fight going. They have the Meteor Strike and that Gravitic Flux to try to kind of ward the defenders away from the point as they respawn.
Yeah, and of course, the 2 supports they've got, the fastest supports in their game. So, actually, unfortunate, but great, all right position for SubZero. I wouldn't mind being in their shoes.
No, definitely not. They'll have an opportunity. Hopefully, we'll be able to get Nistrick back into the game momentarily and get underway here, just for his team. So I would hate to have something more than just a disconnect going on.
I'm wondering what else we can talk about here.
Well, I mean, we can talk a little bit about what has already happened on this map so far, which was the attempted defense coming out from the side of Astray, and something that ultimately kind of I would say led them astray with the attempt at that Junkrat defensive setup. It was working, and it was going quite well for a little while, but they kind of I would say it was less the comp giving them issues and more they just
got too aggressive.
They got a little cocky. They overstepped, and it came back to bite them. Otherwise, we could be looking at a really strong defense that could still be going on point A right now, or just be wrapping up, because they were set up to be in a good spot moving forward if they had come away with that fight. So good on, I would say, SubZero to be able to turn that on its head and take a bad situation and make it one that got them the point.
And they've done, I agree with that. Yes, of course. And I like the use of that tire there. You go in, they're in a contained space. It's going to be very difficult for the Riptide, for people to get away. So you didn't get any picks off it, but I guess maybe that was their downfall. Even if, because they didn't get picks, they're like, oh, there's a whole lot of people low, and the Doomfist is like, I want to go in.
Yeah, it's they
me 1v6. Watch me, witness me.
He tries to make his moment there, and it doesn't quite work out. His eyes got a little bit too big for his mouth in a way.
I'll be interested to see if Rory and Chinese Food switch back, because on the last map we saw Chinese Food in the Doomfist and Rory on the Reaper, and this map, obviously, evidently Chinese Food being the better considered the better Junkrat in the team, they put Rory on the Doomfist. So now that they've both got no ultimate charge available to them, and Chinese Food's down, I wonder if we'll see a swap. I'll guess maybe that will count on if SubZero is able to move on to the point and get the pick onto Rory as well.
Yeah, I'm not quite so sure where Rory is located, and probably a little bit easier of an escape route than Crimson might have, but
just punch your way out of things. The Doomfist approach.
Okay, there we go. Nistrick, back Nistrick, in lobby. Teams are ready to go. We're ready to go. Let's get back into it.
2, 1. Right. So all eyes on you, Crimson. Oh yes, there you go. SubZero does take advantage of Crimson's positioning there, and Rory comes in, is not able to get away, so SubZero will pick up that first tick exactly as you predicted. And
we tried to save Crimson.
And Nistrick's already back. This is a great position for SubZero. The Gravitic Flux comes out as well. Smack! Oh, Aero dies in the middle of the sound barrier. Oh, that's horrible. Hatebroke finishes off Khan as well. Trev then chews through those Hellfire shotguns. Wow, SubZero taking great advantage of that pause, finishing the map with 2 minutes 28 in the time bank.
Well, it kind of looked like they knew exactly what they wanted to do after the pause, and it looked like Astray kind of had no clue. Rory dives in and gives up his life for no reason at that point. He had no business trying to go back into that fight, and he does it anyway. He definitely could have backed off and kind of regrouped with his team for everybody to try to make a push. But as it is, they just get steamrolled, and SubZero putting some life into the series despite dropping a member to a disconnect there.
They dropped a member and took that fight with no supports. That's, I guess, at a player advantage, of course, but I'm really impressed with that. I like, look, they've taken advantage of both. Actually, I think both the point captures off the back of just small advantages. Just play, the advantage of punishing the aggression on point A, and then just winning out that second fight, and then having time to plan for it and being able to strategize and execute cleanly on that strategy. So really, really great work from SubZero to take advantage of just small little things that Astray are doing and put themselves up on this map.
And look now, immediately after that happens, Rory and Chinese Food make that swap back to the roles we saw on map 1. Rory, both points there, kind of falling apart as the Doomfist overextends. He's now back on the Reaper. Chinese Food picking up the fist again. So we'll see if that's the secret sauce, the special recipe for Astray as they try to get back on track.
So SubZero choosing not to go for anything different for this defense, just sticking with the standard Reaper Doom. As Aero goes in, tries to get a boof off, but nah, sorry mate, nothing for you there. They do burn down, Astray do burn down the shields, so SubZero will rotate around. Oh, they're actually on the ground. Oh, Trev gets caught out. Chinese Food, Khan as well. Rory in the back line just causing havoc as well. Oh, this one has just collapsed for SubZero. Astray, great play there.
I've got to question a little bit the decision there from SubZero to just drop off the high ground. They didn't get booped. They didn't get halted. They just took the fight on the low ground. They gave up their advantage, and they kind of just threw that one away. I think that's kind of indefensible, and they get punished hard for it. We're seeing it on both sides. If you make mistakes, these teams are skilled enough at least to be able to punish them.
Well, there you go. So SubZero are choosing to lose the high ground again, and again they're punished for it. Chinese Food goes in deep, able to hit Nistrick in the background. That coalescence and switch, also keeping the members of the team alive and point. Khan going low, but brought up again. We see Crimson actually getting on the kill feed there, a couple of kills. And this is a really good position for Astray now. They're set up on the point. They're building up their percentage. And SubZero's switch to the quick swaps now. We see Tracer, we see a Wrecking Ball from Cash as well. I'm not sure what they can do here. There you go. The Wrecking Ball just dies instantly on the point. Trev's still here. We see the Meteor Strike. Where's Chinese Food bringing this down? Bam! No more Supercharger for you. And that's the easy point capture for Astray. 5 minutes 20 in the time bank.
When is the last time you have seen a round of Overwatch where a Moira did not get her ultimate? That's what just happened to Nistrick and SubZero. That is kind of mind-blowing how quickly Astray just blew through this map. They were patient, they were ready for everything, and they just completely dominate.
No, absolutely nothing. No, maybe Astray, they're sitting in that pause and thinking, I know what they've got us now. We'll just strategize for attack. It's like, we don't need this defense here. We've got this in the bag. And they do. You've got twice the time. More than twice the time. Bloody hell.
Yeah, it is not every day that you're going to see 5+ minutes remaining in the time bank on
Horizon as well.
Yeah, this map should not be lasting that long. that just shouldn't happen. And we're going to see now if SubZero has a response to that. They were able to take both points the first time around. They'll be facing the same defensive setup once again here from Astray. Rory getting a chance at redemption here as he picks up the Doomfist.
Just contain your excitement, mate. I know it's fun seeing the enemy team low and it's so juicy. Though we do see Trev coming out here, the Sombra scouting again. Look, they're running the same thing. We'll run the same thing. That's like 10 seconds off the clock. You probably didn't need to waste. But it's better safe than sorry.
Yes, but they need every second they can get at this point in there. They're going to try for this low ground approach.
That was a good uppercut from Rory there, able to split the members of SubZero up. HK Broke got isolated there. Wow, that was a smart play from Rory.
Oh, see, this is how you have to play when that low ground entry comes in from the attack. You send the Doomfist in to disrupt, to try and find those pickoffs rather than dropping down as the entire squad. It gets the pick they need and just buys time here.
SubZero and Onisa going to move on. Chinese Food getting close to that Riptire. They do get in the point, and as I say it, the Riptire comes out. Vroom, vroom, straight to... Oh! Great pick from Nistrick, able to pick up the Riptire, though it doesn't matter. Chinese Food says, no, I'm just get revenge on you. Pick up Trev as well. And that will be another solid defense from Astray there. No progress made for SubZero.
None whatsoever, and now we're down sub 1 minute. The ultimate charge has been slow for SubZero at this point. Nistrick finally going to get up to another coalescence in this fight, but that that shows you once again how much of a struggle they are having right now.
Though conversely, no other ultimates on Astray either. Just not lasting long at all. Oh, what a biotic grenade! That hit 4 members of SubZero, and Rory pounces.
Now they've just got to die.
Yeah. In the open this time. I'm good job, Rory. In the open, well protected.
Okay. He finally goes down towards the tail end of that fight after wasting just a few more precious seconds. If they cap point A, it's gonna be a miracle, and it's gonna have to be in overtime. The ult economy was relatively even going into last fight. Not the case now. Look at how loaded Astray is.
I'm wondering where Switch. Oh, I was gonna say where's Switch putting this nano boost. Gets stunned, able to apply it anyway. Khan goes down the middle actually. Though the meteor strike coming out from Rory now. Smack down on the point. Omixi goes down. No sound barrier for you. He gets a pick on the Trev as well. Okay, some picks coming back the way of SubZero, but it's not enough. The Riptide Chinese food running over the hamster. We'll see if anyone can make it back. No. Yeah, just HK broke waiting on the outs. No, you can't wait that long. Oh, time goes down. SubZero making no progress on point A on their second attack.
Okay, and Astray now, that defense executed properly. The first time around, they don't quite put it all together. This time, they do it pretty much perfectly. SubZero never stood a chance on that attack. They were just constantly getting, waylaid by those grenades on their way in. They could never get a clean entry, whether it was the biotic grenade or just the Junkrat primary fire. They never got in cleanly. They never forced Astray off the high ground at all, and they never stood a chance.
Yeah, great work from Switch, particularly there with that biotic grenade, and that was great communication as well. Once that biotic grenade hit it, Rory was in there like a shot, able to pick up 2 kills immediately. So really good communication from Astray.
Exactly, and they're showing a nice bit of flexibility here and a willingness to go just a hair outside of the meta when the situation calls for it. That healing line of Mercy and Ana is not something that you're going to see super often right now with the double shield meta as it is, making Ana kind of a tough pick. But here on Horizon, where you've got this high ground setup, you can find the angle to land those big bio nades, to land the sleeps, and you can find value out of an off-meta pick.
And SubZero having faith in this composition. They do have their work cut out for them, of course. They've got to do a 5-minute third of the point hold on Astray, and that's going to be a tough ask because Zero gets booped back. No boops for you, mate. And they looks like Astray will go the low ground route. Instead of hiding in the room after losing members, they will get straight into the point here. So they're going to force SubZero to come to them. Trev goes in, gets stunned, goes low, but is able to get out. HK Broke actually getting the first pick in then that fight onto Switch. Crimson going down as well. It's a great start from SubZero. Able to get the picks they need. Yep, they will force Astray back. That's a minute off the time bank. 4 minutes 20 remaining.
And this time you see the difference in how the defense goes here for SubZero. Rather than falling down and fighting in kind of the courtyard in front of the point, they wait until Astray makes their way to the point. They have a much better control of the high ground and are able to capitalize as they drop down as a team. They catch Astray off guard there, and they come away with at least one fight win here on Horizon.
Oh, looks like Rory going in underneath just to... Oh, okay, so we do see them SubZero drop down this time. Cash goes down early. District does have that coalescence, not opting to use it yet. Oh, is that Trev? Unfortunately gets stunned, caught out. HK Broke goes in with the meteor strike, but gets pounced upon by Chinese food. Finished off by Crimson there. The coalescence finally comes out from District, but stunned out of it. What?
Yeah, it's not really
too late anyway. A sound barrier from Mixer, yeah. Unfortunately, this fight is over. The Death Blossom there, just a celebratory Death Blossom. See Cash come back on the freaking ball. Can you get it here? No. Sorry, hamster. Hero picked up those last two kills. And Astray with a comprehensive win here on Horizon Lunar Colony.
Yeah, that one was confident right there. They never had any doubt here on Horizon that they were going to take it, and that was fantastically done. A decent defensive effort there from SubZero as they try, but the task is too tall. That hold was damn near impossible, and they just can't quite do it. So we'll now be headed into map 3 with Astray up 2-0 and an opportunity to finish this one off to secure the win on map 3.
Which will be Junkertown, which is a map I love because we see different compositions. Particularly, we see Pirate Ship, we see a lot of Bastion. Back in the day, of course, we saw a lot of Widow, particularly on point A. So I'm hoping the teams, particularly SubZero, are willing to bring out something different here.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's a possibility. The Doomfist and Reaper are not going to be as inherently valuable picks, especially on point A. Once you get into the second and third points of the map, things start to tighten up a little bit in terms of space, and they become more at home. But here on point A, the snipers, as you said, they reign supreme a lot of the time, and even in a meta where they aren't played all the time, they still find value on Junkertown, and that Bastion is always going to be in the back of your mind on a map like this.
Although often in a few recent matches, I'm seeing Bastion as a front of mind for everyone. You see a lot of close spawn. The defending team willing to just sit up next to the attacker spawn with that Bastion, get that bunker set up, and just hammer it out at the spawn door, just decide the map, don't even let the attackers come out. So I do like seeing that. It's good when it works, of course. It's not so good when it falls apart instantly.
Yes, it's a bit of a risk-reward calculus that you've got to do there as a team. And, maybe if you are in a situation like SubZero at this point where these first two maps have not gone your way and it hasn't been incredibly close. You've put up a good fight at times, and you've made Astray work for it, but you haven't really contended for any of these first couple maps. If you're in that situation, the Bastion is probably a risk that makes a lot of sense. You need to do something to kind of shake things up and to turn the series on its head. So that is always an option.
Yep, you just got to hope that Astray hasn't been practicing their Bastion v Bastion compositions. I know some teams like practicing that just so you can come out and dominate on it. It's a bit of a power move. It's like the defending team goes, we're running Bastion, we're running a bunker, and the attacking team comes out and goes, nah, we're running bunker. And on the defending sides, good, we're finally seeing a Mei come out here from Chinese Food.
Okay.
Just sticking with Rory on the Reaper, but Chinese Food proving to be quite flexible. This is at least the third different hero pick that we're willing to come out on.
Absolutely. I mean, I know that this guy has a lot of options in his bag. I know he has a really good Pharah as well. So this is, I'm glad we're getting to see the Mei, because I was a little bit worried at that point that all we were going to be getting was Doomfist Reaper the whole way through. But the Bastion coming out for SubZero on the attack there. They're going to throw it out immediately, but that halt is not
the Immortality Field, the only thing keeping them alive there, but that from Chinese Food will spell the end of Trev and Nistrik.
Okay. SubZero got caught a little off guard there. They probably should have seen that coming.
Absolutely no chill from Astray here. They don't need a bunker, they just need a Mei.
Okay.
There you go.
The Immortality Field already spent here, and it's basically just gotten them out of the spawn doors. So I think this is going to be a good fight for Astray.
And that's a very, very small map there. Trev, nowhere to go, nothing to shoot at with those walls. Crimson will go down, so that's going to hurt the defense. This might be what SubZero needs to get out of spawn. And it's nice to see H-Key broke. Not only does your H-Key work, that you're willing to play Mei on a team called SubZero. So two for one there. I like that.
Rory!
Oh, Rory, what was that? Okay, made it. Mate,
he's working. It's doing it. Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, I thought SubZero had the better of that, but no, apparently not.
I mean, everybody but Rory basically backs off, and he just decides, no, I'm not done with this fight just yet. Forces the rest of Astray to come along with him, and they make it work. And now, once again, they're continuing to hold
Blizzard. Oh, eaten by Cash. There you go. That's something. Finally, something going SubZero's way. Blizzard denied. Of course, they're still trying to get out of their spawn, but it's better than nothing, though. As I say, that Rory eats through Churro. Lots of members of SubZero going low. Just jeepers creepers. Absolutely no chill from Astray here. SubZero staying in, yeah, getting a pretty frosty reception here on Junkertown.
This has been brutal so far, but finally some ults really coming on the line for SubZero. At least they should be able to break out of the spawn. But, you know, Rory's waiting with another Death Blossom. You know he wants to unleash it, and there might be a supercharger backing him up this time.
There you go. The Blizzard comes out from HK Bro. It's the first Blizzard we're finally see hit the field, and Khan gets frozen there, but is able to get away.
They missed Rory.
Hey, Rory able to get a kill, but the kill's finally going the way of SubZero. The cart will start moving forward here. I don't think Rory's got any more surprises for us.
No.
Though having to invest 3 ultimates to break out of your own spawn 3.5 minutes into the map, not the best start.
No, not ideal. I was really worried for a second because Rory was frozen on the edge of the blizzard and no one seemed to notice him at all. And he still had the Death Blossom ready to go. Luckily, they shut it down when it comes in, and now they have a chance.
There's a supercharger. The Gravitic Flux, though, from Cash. Picks up a few members, slams them down. Chinese Food able to avoid that with the Ice Block. But unfortunately, it's not enough to keep the rest of the members of the team alive. Of course, the Ice Block only keeping a Chinese Food fresh. Well, they are the last to go down. And it looks like SubZero, after that very rough start, might actually get a chance to finish the point here. We'll see if Astray chooses to contest again.
It doesn't look like it. No, they're nowhere in position to try to fight this one out. So they'll just set up on the high ground and settle in for point B here. I think a wise decision as they look to really kind of shut this push down.
Oh, I think they're going to go for an aggressive point B hold here. They are not going to let up. Oh, dear.
I mean, they now have the advantage in terms of geography where they didn't have that at all on point A.
Blizzard. We'll see if Cash can absorb this one. No absorption there. Okay, Trev wasn't to counter that Blizzard, but unfortunately, not going to happen. Rory goes down. Okay, so a DPS down for both teams, but Churro going down as well. Looks like that might be the end of SubZero's attack here. Yep, and Trev, frozen, dead.
The Blizzard doesn't secure the kills for Chinese Food. The freezes aren't necessarily there, but it splits up SubZero so dramatically. Yeah. HQ Broke was stuck in a corner. Churro goes down as well. That it ultimately winds up winning the fight for Astray.
So and there's really SubZero doesn't really have any counter to this aggression from Astray. I mean, they've got the ultimates here, but you don't want to be spending ultimates just to get out of your spawn. As I say that, okay, they do throw in the Gravitic Flux and the Blizzard there. Interesting combination. Doesn't get anything off the back of it. Actually, Era gets a sound barrier off, but he's frozen and killed in the middle of that. So I totally spoke too soon for their SubZero coming out. They're able to finish off Khan here. Oh, Khan, okay, able to finish off Omixy, but no, okay. They will finish off this fight here, and they will start making some progress onto point B with the cart.
They have to commit quite a bit to do it, though, so they're still alive, but very much in danger as they approach this final fight here, or the final stretch of point B. Chinese Food able to come back out here with a Blizzard could stop them in their tracks.
And the Gravitic Flux as well. Mixie faced with another tough choice. Do I stop the Blizzard to protect the Blizzard from the Blizzard? Or do I protect from this Gravitic Flux and chooses to use it there? And Trevor K goes in and managed to get Crimson. So the supercharger from Churro as well. Into the Blizzard from Chinese Food. Chinese Food going low, but being able to be kept alive by Switch. Great work there. So the Reaper's being traded out. It's a bit of a brawl in the card, actually. And okay, SubZero will get the advantage, and they will finish on point B. It's a great point B there from SubZero.
No, so far this map has kind of been in the same sort of pattern so far. Astray get really aggressive with their defense, and as soon as it breaks, the momentum just allows SubZero to continue the push all the way through the point. It looks like we're in for another early fight here with that supercharger.
Oh, that's a great wall there from HK Broke, blocking off the supercharger. But it's okay, it is enough. Can't get it on Mixie, but 3 kills going the way of the attacking team. Twitch's supercharged coalescence. They're not really getting anything done. Arrow just flying around on the top, but unfortunately, it's only Khan and Arrow left on the cart. So Subs. Oh, that was a brilliant wall from HK Broke there.
Yeah, that's just ingenious. That is a fascinating play, a really heads-up moment from HK Broke, who has so far been, the carry for SubZero at times on the DPS. Earlier the Doomfist, now the Mei. He's got a Blizzard ready to go, and that could be big.
And we're seeing Chinese Food's actually changed onto the Doomfist. So only one Blizzard on the field now. HK Broke throws it out, gets the freeze on Car, but Rory into the back line. Chinese Food finishing up Nomura as well. That's the support line from SubZero down. This fight will be over, and the cart will finally stop here with Trev's death.
Okay, one last opportunity, though, for SubZero to get back in here and make another go of it. They'll have the tools to make it possible as well. That supercharger, the gravitic flux, they have the advantage coming into this fight, but they need to make things happen quickly.
As SubZero chooses to go under, close to the attacker spawn, they go a fair bit low, turn up the supercharger, but we'll see where Chinese Food chooses to put this meteor strike down. Bam! Straight down. Oh, Switch actually gets supercharged, but HK Broke coming through. 2 big kills to start out this fight. Khan lifts SubZero into the air, able to get 2 kills off that as well. It's a great counter from Khan. Trev finally gets the pick onto Rory. That's a bit of Reaper on Reaper action. So far, the SubZero has the advantage in this fight. Of course, Astray with their respawns coming back fast. We see Crimson coming back now on the Wrecking Ball, just bopping members of SubZero around, but Cash with just the backhand slap on the Switch there will keep the progress going for the cart. Churro's changed onto the Reinhardt as well, charging back into the fight. Astray looks like they're waiting. They're just going to group up and collapse onto the cart here. They need to do it quickly, though. That cart's less than 2 meters away from the spawn point. They're mixing with that sand barrier to keep this attack going for SubZero. I think the next picks here will be crucial. We see Khan on the Reinhardt now, and Trev gets the better. Rory again. Arrow. That's Lucio out of the fight. That's a lot of speed and healing on the cart. Trev with a Death Blossom over the top. Doesn't get any kills, but assists in the killing of Khan. Crimson goes low as well. It looks like SubZero will actually push this cart through and finish in overtime. What a fantastic attack in the end from SubZero.
And that pick onto Rory was the kind of crucial kill to start that fight. Not only does it give them the man advantage, not only does it give Trev the Death Blossom that he needs, it denies Rory the opportunity to use a Death Blossom of his own. No kills able to come through towards the tail into that fight for Astray. And what started out as an incredibly dominant defense, they were spawn camping SubZero earlier. It winds up with a completion of Junkertown. An incredible turnaround there from SubZero.
Unfortunately for the defending team, I guess that defense just went astray.
There we go.
Finally got it in there somewhere.
Okay, well, let's see if they can get back on track here as they make their way to the attack. It's going to be the Mei yet again for HK Broke on the defense. He made it work quite well for them, flexing around between the Mei and the Doomfist on the attack and really having a huge impact here on Junker.
Oh yeah, no bashing. They're going for that close spawn hold here. It looks like they're sneaking through. So I whisper for you. They're sneaking through. No, I won't do that. They're sneaking through this little house. They're gonna, I guess they're playing it smart. So if you're an attacking team, you just chuck a sonar arrow onto the front of your spawn. You can see a team close holding. But if you're hiding in this room, so Hanzo can't see you. No bashing though. No Baptiste as well. So
no Hanzo either. So they're not quite ready for it, but they make their presence known immediately. And Astray just back off. They're gonna go Farm Mercy maybe. Oh no, just the nano or the boosted.
Maybe
again.
yeah. Oh, okay, and of course there's no counter for Chinese food in this. Oh, arrow! No, you got it created off the side! Oh, no!
Oh.
What a play from Cash! And Chinese food goes, that's, oh man, that's gotta hurt. Rory pushing the cart though. So there you go. Oh, okay, Rory. Again, Rory does not give me a single damn what the rest of his team is doing. Goes down the end. That pick on the Choro will be big. Of course, the respawns will come.
They've got to stop losing members, though. They can't just keep dying at this point. Eventually, your spawn advantage does wear off if Churro can get back in the fight. And right now, SubZero not ready to give up on this fight. They want to take it right now.
Yeah, and Churro's galloping back, almost back in the fight now. So Astray not really able to take advantage of the lack of the Orisa from the defending team. Initiative will open up with that coalescence as well. As both teams, what are you fighting in the house for? Anyway, the Gravitic Flux comes out from Cash, able to, picks up multiple members of Astray. This attack will be shut down. Rory gets to pick on Choro again. And Switch, Switch, I'm pushing the cart, mate. Just a little bit of suckers.
You asked why they were fighting in the house, and I think that's a valid question to be asking Astray. Why are you trying to fight in that room with a Mei who's just freezing up your entire team? It works out beautifully for SubZero.
Oh, hey, broke! Hiding behind!
But it doesn't matter.
Though, doesn't matter. So the Death Blossom comes out, and all of a sudden, Haybroke, what started out as a great little flank, is now stuck behind. Just going to have to throw away their life onto the cart here. Oh, okay, so smart start, but not enough, and Astray will finally keep pushing this cart through point A.
And that was so sad. You saw him coming off the flank, and he's completely unnoticed. He was so ready to land that Blizzard, but the rest of his team dies before he can get into the fight, so now it's going to have to be the recontest for SubZero.
Good accretion on the Choro there. And HK Broke throws in the Blizzard, so I've been calling it Hey Broke, Key Broke. The Blizzard does come out. Chinese food gets away by jumping in the air and slamming down with that meteor strike. Choro goes down to Chinese food, finishing up that fight. Blimey. That'll be a quick point A for Astray in the end.
He finishes up. He starts it off with the kill onto Cash, taking a nice angle to catch the Sigma as he's dropping down, and the setup from Crimson with that halt to make that meteor strike so deadly, perfectly timed, perfectly coordinated, and this is the Astray that we've been seeing all night.
And Chinese food's been spotted out in the back line here, not able to get away. Okay, so that attack might be a little stalled. We'll see if Astray. No, Astray is choosing to retreat. Oh, here we go. Rory does not care. Retreat? Nah, don't know the word. The Khan goes down the middle of that. I think I think it might have been a bit. Okay, this in the supercharger. They've drawn SubZero out. Okay, what a bait! Astray luring SubZero out, sacrificing a couple of members, but then, yeah, just popping a supercharger and blowing the defending team away. As I say, that couple of kills going back the way of SubZero, but it's not enough. This cart will continue pushing forward through point B.
I mean, it's kind of even at the moment, a really scrappy back and forth fight right now. But that meteor strike,
able to stay alive. Those adaptive shields keeping Chinese food there alive on like 5 health. And Switch's coalescence able to keep them up. Ultimates left, right, and center. Rory's end up coming out on top with the Death Blossom. And so, what started as a good start for SubZero just hasn't really coalesced since then. No pun intended again.
They haven't been able to really put it together, and now they're in danger here on Junkertown. If Astray can finish off the map here with then we'll be headed into extra rounds, and they're potentially set up to have a time-making
great halt from Crimson. But unfortunately not able to finish off the kills as Gravitic Flux comes through from Cash, the Sand Barrier from Aero to counter that. And in the end, Crimson's able to pick off Churro there. So now SubZero stuck in a little hole there. Oh, Accretion almost gets HK Broke. Trev throws in the Death Blossom, able to pick off Rory. The DPS coming up big for SubZero here. They're able to get a few kills, and their streak will finish off with that Coalescence. And there you go. SubZero finally able to stabilize at the start of point C.
And I think they realize they know they need to win that fight. They need to buy themselves some time. They cannot afford to just let this payload coast on into the finish line here. So they commit to that fight. They had to win it, and they do. But now they're pretty much broke when it comes to ultimates. HK going to have that meteor strike, but maybe more just of an escape.
Behind again. Has been spotted by Mixie. Hey, but it doesn't matter. Able to finish off that. We see Trev go down as well. Arista goes down for Astray, but that's not really going to phase them here. They're going to keep pushing in Chinese food, pushing their way through. Yeah, great work by both the DPS and Astray to clean up that fight.
And the supercharger just makes them that much more lethal as they go forward. Rory and Chinese food, a very scary duo to be staring down the barrel of. And now we're going to get around this corner before the next fight really kicks off. So this could essentially be the final fight here.
And the DPS from Astray, not even with the rest of their team, hiding in the back line. We'll see them dive in now. Chinese food opens up with a meteor strike. Rory follows up with a death blossom. Able to pick off Nistrik. The Colossus I think is gone. Rory though, picking up 3 in that fight. Chinese food with 2 as well. The DPS from Astray shooing through the members of SubZero. They will pushing this card to completion with 1 minute 40 in the time bank.
That is just raw aggression coming out from Astray to close out that attack. Rory, as well as Chinese food, just tearing through SubZero and really making this match their own. The Reaper Doomfist has been such a deadly duo so far, and they keep it going, a sizable time bank advantage as we head into extra.
Yeah, and we'll see. SubZero, of course, will be starting their attack here. I would be willing to put money on Astray starting with that really aggressive hold here. I guess aggressive being the key word for Astray's whole strategy here on Junkertown. It's just unchecked aggression, which, while it might kind of petered out at the end of their initial defensive run as a pause comes in, while it did peter out at the end of their first defense, of course, we saw them post a much better time on that attacking run thanks to that aggression.
Yeah, I mean, and the aggression kind of bit them on the defense, and but it is what kind of gives them this massive time bank. The fact that they were able to essentially spawn camp SubZero for so long means that they have, they bled all of the time away, and now SubZero are going to need a really impressive showing here as they head into their second attack. Just a minute to work with, and it appears right now at least that they're going to give the Bastion another shot.
Although we saw how that worked for them last time, it took them almost, I think, 3 minutes to get out of their spawn in the first place. So risky. Although on the defensive side, Chinese food not running the no, sorry, that was attacking Junkrat. So yeah, it looks like the same thing coming through from Astray on the defensive side. So, we know how good the defense is here at this attacker's spawn on point A of Junkertown. So SubZero, hopefully they've got something different up their sleeve. Maybe they're aware of what's going to happen. Maybe they've got a plan. I don't think Nistrik on the Ana. Do you remember on their initial attack?
I believe he was. I don't. Maybe not when they first started off. It probably was more likely the Mercy, but I'm not 100% sure. I know we've seen quite a bit of Ana on that first point. The biotic grenades were a part of what helped them kind of break out in the end. So it definitely played a role. I don't remember if it was there with the Bastion.
In any case, the biotic grenade, of course, great for preventing any heals coming through on those close range heroes from Astray. But also, you chuck that on top of the bunker. You've got a Mixie just throwing in those what is it? A biotic launcher. I don't think they have a name. The biotic launcher grenades, chucking in his right clicks, and that would be burst through the nose. I don't think Astray. Oh, that'd be very difficult. It would be very difficult for Astray to put in enough damage, I think, to take down a biotic grenaded plus the Baptiste healing on the Bastion.
Yes, absolutely. So we are going to indeed see that. HQ broke on the Mei as well to try and set up the team. They were ready
Ooh.
for the defensive setup this time. They took this outer approach, and now
Rory slipped on top. Great sleep from Nistrik. Although they've just ignored the Reaper now. Rory jumps down. Trev able to pick up Crimson Knight. It's a great start. Able to pick up Rory as well. No surprise Bastion for you. Sorry, no surprise Reaping for you. And there you go. The pirate ship will get set up straight away. This is what I like to see.
Okay, and this time they get exactly what they need. This is smart. They're gonna go set up to get Trev in position for the last fight here on point A. He's gonna be up on this car. They're gonna be able to give him that amplification matrix in just a moment from a mix set. This going to
be nasty. Oh, what a wall!
But that's a good approach.
Yeah, smart approach. The wall gets broken through, but the Bastion's on the high ground here, just popping through this amplification matrix.
And they missed their window. They needed to stop that cart.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of that Chinese food actually built up very quickly to that blizzard as well. 85% of the way. If it stayed alive a bit longer, Rory doing what Rory does best, getting in there when all looks lost. And not able to save Crimson, unfortunately. So, great. Oh, HK broke, just freezing the two, Carton and Rory on the cart. The arrow goes down as well. It's a great start from SubZero. Great planning. That
this is absolutely perfect, and there was an opportunity there for Astray if they had been able to stop the cart between those two buildings like they were trying to do, but the walls cut them off. The payload moves away from their reach, and at that point they can't pursue it into the sight lines of Trev, who's now setting up on the high ground for this next fight.
So really smart play with this Bastion here. It's a little risky in that you're taking members off the cart, but the nano goes on to Trev. Oh, Cash eats the blizzard. What a play. The wall comes out though, cutting off Trev from the healing. So that, and then that, with the immortality field goes down, a nano boosted Sigma, not something you see every day. HK broke, throws in the blizzard on the cart, so that'll make it a bit easier for SubZero to fight it out here. Kills going both ways, a bit of healing lost for the attackers, a bit of tanks for the defense. The sound barrier comes in from Arrow though, that'll be really good to keep the members of Astray alive. Cash throws in the gravitic flux. Oh! And SubZero steps off the cart. Oh, that's unfortunate.
They were outnumbered, and I think they were probably going to be removed rather forcibly in just a moment. So ultimately, probably no harm, no foul. And still, not a bad push at all for SubZero, considering we had a minute to work with. That's nothing to hang your head at, and we'll see now if they can come up with the defense to match that and to come away with a win.
So yeah, it's after. I mean, look, honestly, after that start to the map where they took 3 minutes to break out of spawn, I was a bit worried for SubZero. They've done phenomenally well, even with Astray's quick attack. Getting that first point of Junkertown is a really good sign for SubZero.
Now, and now if you're SubZero, you've kind of set up a situation where if you can just buy time on point A, you can you can even give up the point. If you can set up for a fight here on point B, that's enough to win the map here. So you don't necessarily have to be perfect, to be spawn camping or anything like that. You now have a real chance to win this map and to avoid losing this series. Let's point out, if Astray are able to get the payload to that golden box of victory, that's 3-0 on the series. We'll still have one more map, but they will come away with the win.
Oh, Astray's seen, and the wall does go up. They're able to isolate both the DPS. Chinese food gets stunned, but is able to ice block out of it. Cryo free, sorry. Oh, good halt there, bringing together members of Astray, but unfortunately Churro is the first to fall in that fight. Rory gets frozen, able to get away. Wraithform out, healing coming in from both Arrow and Switch. Cash frozen, but again able to get away. So both teams doing a great job of healing for their frozen team members. Trev going down though. Yeah, it looks like Astray will start pushing this cart forward. But 30 seconds burnt off the clock for SubZero.
Not the worst case scenario. They'll have plenty of opportunity to come back in here and take a second fight here on point A. They'll continue buying time. But
hello, Rory. Oh, this is good.
He's getting ready. He wants to come in from behind. He wants to deal with the Death Blossom, but he's found out now.
He's not even hiding. He doesn't. He doesn't. He just walks into open view. I'm here. There you go. Both the coalescents coming at identical timing. And Rory throws in the Death Blossom. Going down, coming out, going... I can't tell with all this Coalesce out. But the kills are going the way of Astray here. The Gritty Flux, though, from SubZero. No. Able to get 1 kill off that.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Numbers not with him.
No, you got to have a little bit more discipline there as Cash. That fight was not going your way. That was going to be nearly impossible to turn around. Now that's one less tool that you have to try to make a stand here on point B.
Oh, Rory. Bloody hell, Rory.
He is doing everything he can to try and get himself killed.
Oh, I love it. But surprisingly,
look at Chinese
he
food.
Survives.
Look at Chinese food. He's behind them right now. He's ready to come in with the blizzard. They don't see it coming.
And Cash absorbs it again. Cash is eating cones left, right, and center. And Khan absorbs as well. Trev gets the Death Blossom off, but it's not enough. Crimson and Rory coming over the top. Rory's Death Blossom will clean up this fight. That will be this fight done. We might see some emergency swaps, so that's it. Astray will push this cart home. Can Charo make it though? Oh, just moved away. Oh, that's it. Wow.
Okay, what a map there on Junkertown. Astray clutch up when it really matters. They are able to come away with the win here on Junkertown. They secure the series victory. But my God, SubZero really came to play. They turned Junkertown into one of the worst situations you'll ever see, given the spawn camp. Got 4 points on the board and made a map of it at least.
Yeah, and I think particularly the two players that stood out to me, at least on that map there for me, were HK Broke doing a fantastic job on the Mei, building up those blizzards, throwing them in on the cart, in the middle of a fight, helping win fights, and in particular Cash. Cash ate 3 blizzards, I think, in that. It's just that Sigma, that Kinetic Grasp or whatever it's called. 3 blizzards eaten. That's 3 blizzards denied. Blizzard, such a fantastic tool. For the team that throws it out, you get the whole team frozen or scattered, but really, really good work from SubZero. Even though they lost that, I really, really enjoyed watching them play that map.
Talk about your brain freeze. Cash has got to be feeling the pain after that one. That is a Herculean effort he tries to put up there, but it's just not enough at the end there for SubZero. They come up just a bit short. As now we head into Numbani for map number 4. Now kind of just playing for bragging rights, for points that matter a lot in the standings as well. But the series will be going to Astray.
Yep. So I guess this opens up the opportunity for Astray. They've already got the convincing match to win here. So maybe they might be willing to change it up a little. As you mentioned before, Chinese food has a nice Farah. We could see that. We do see that on Numbani. Whether even, I guess we just see it regardless of what composition is being running in other teams. We do see a bit of Bastion as well. So SubZero, the only team really showing a Bastion on Junkertown, but maybe they're willing to run it on defense here, even though they're not starting on defense.
Yeah, it will indeed.
What they run.
It will just be Astray coming out of the defense yet again, and I can't say I expect them to change things up too dramatically here. Everything has been going their way so far tonight, and I don't see any need to kind of switch it up. The only questions is what combo of Mei, Reaper, and Doomfist are we playing here potentially?
Oh.
Or not.
Oh. Yes. Crazy comp. Oh, damn it, Crimson. Okay. You know what? I'll forgive that because of what your DPS are playing.
Chinese food, though, that could be real. The Bastion could definitely be real. And based on the rest of the comp, indeed it will be. Rari coming out here on the turret. Finally going to get to see Chinese food on the far. I love to see it.
I like this composition, particularly with the DPS picks. Because you set up that Bastion, they're going to set up on the back corner of the point, so the attacking team has to jump across the point to even contest the Bastion. And then you've got that Pharaoh just flying around. You know, you end up being caught in a pincer. You jump at the Bastion. What that does is it leaves you open to the Pharaoh in the back. You're getting rockets up your butt. So I really like what the defense is running here.
Okay, SubZero though gonna have an idea of what's coming their way as Trev once again out on a bit of a scouting mission here. Going to be seeing that.
Bastion SubZero going for dive.
Let's do it. They're going to keep the Sombra as well for Trev, so they're going to be looking to set up an all-in here onto Rory in the back.
Thank you, teams. I appreciate you both. Oh, so yeah, dive a decent counter to the Bastion composition. If you can get either you all collapse on there at once, or running the Sombra, of course. I know I'm talking for you, I guess. Okay, so Cash goes in very deep. Unfortunately, melted instantly by that Bastion. HK Broke is able to pick off the Immortality Field, so that's half a kill. I'll count for the attacking team. But no, just no, that's not going to work, Genji.
So the problem that you have here with running the dive is when you're doing it without any ultimates and without some kind of hack to set it up, it really just comes down to Churro and Cash use their cooldowns to get into the fight. The Immortality Field gets used, and then Rory can't die, and you can't get out. So they've got to do something to set this up a little bit better. Either just play it patiently, build up ults, or perhaps get Trev in position.
Oh, okay. Switch doing some great work in the backline, just scouting for the flankers, but okay, not enough. Wow, that was really great coordination from SubZero, able to collapse onto that bunker, take out the Immortality Field, and get the rest of the team down. That was fantastic coordination there from SubZero.
Well, that's also just a bit of a mistake there coming in from Switch. He's late on the Immortality Field, and Rory goes down before it gets in. And at that point, there's no damage really coming through. There's no deterrent to keep SubZero from sticking around in the fight and just wiping them off the map. And now the ultimates are going to be coming in, that Nano Blade, the EMP as well. This payload is going to keep moving.
Oh, there you go. The Dragon Blade comes out from HK Broke. The Nano Boost, I'm assuming, goes on to HK. Yes, it has gone to HK Broke. Cuts through Arrow, but unfortunately the healer's going down from SubZero. Make it very hard for them to continue this fight. And, oh, okay, we see Khan on the Roadhog as well.
Okay.
Oh, this is so much fun.
All right. Well, the Nano Blade not quite working out there, but still the EMP ready to go for Trev. So an opportunity for SubZero to get back on track quite quickly if they can land a big one.
We'll see what the teams. There you go. Chinese food. Oh, EMP comes out from Trev, able to get onto the backline really of Astray, and that will mean that fight will decidedly go the way of SubZero. Nishik goes down, but you know, you're going to fade back to the point fast. Arrow though, stopping the can't make any progress for a little bit.
Okay, now Trev gonna be running back on to get that swap coming through back over to the mirror. At least in terms of DPS, we've still got Karn on that Roadhog here for a little while longer. I would expect him to make his way over to Sigma towards the tail end of this map, but for now, we get to see the Hog. He'll potentially have whole Hog at some point in this next fight.
Yes. Just hope they don't. Oh, there you go. So the Supercharger comes out in Crimson at the start. It's countered by the Sound Barrier from a Mixie. So that, and with the Supercharge, okay, so SubZero going very aggressive, able to take down a Supercharger, lay one out of their own. That goes down as well. Oh, okay. The Reaper's going down from both teams. Gravitic Flux. No, and no counter to that. But fortunately, Khan throws out the whole Hog, but gets stunned out of it actually. So it's a very messy fight on the point here. Looks like SubZero might have, yes, they will have the advantage here. The remaining members of Astray doing what they can to stall, just hoping teams can play back. Oh, okay, Rory. Great stall in the end of Rory unleashing with that Death Blossom, able to cut down a Mixie at the end of that as well. And oh no, you're not getting away, Trev. Okay, what a hold.
And Karn there kind of playing the old school definition of a tank. He's just sitting in the middle of that fight, soaking up so much damage as Switch and Arrow are the last two, some members that he's got alive with him. They stay alive for so long enough for Rory to get back in with the Death Blossom and save the day.
Yep, so it looks like SubZero will choose to recontest now, but Switch opening up with the Coalescence will keep the defenders alive. Chinese food going ham. Two fists to the face able to start out that fight. Khan picking up Choro as well. And yeah, that will be a fight win, a slightly messy fight win to Astray. See you, Rory. You're not supposed to chase Cash down there. That's just... That's a bit too aggressive.
It's ultimately going to be no harm, no foul, as Rory will be able to get back into the fight. But now the time is dwindling here for SubZero, but they've gotten this far. They need to finish off point B pretty soon, and they've got the ultimates coming online.
There he goes. The fight opens up here on the cart. The cart inching forward ever so slowly. We see HK Broke throwing in the Meteor Strike. Chinese food as well following up. HK Broke getting the better of that. Able to pick off Aero. Khan going down as well. That's that big piggy down. No more soaking up the damage for you. Rory, another Death Blossom comes out. Bloody hell. That aggression is paying off. Rory with Death Blossom building it up, but unfortunately, the cart does get pushed through as SubZero finishes off this fight.
Even Death Blossom's on cooldown, not going to be able to save you when you're surrounded by enemies right there, just as Rory was, and he overcommits a little bit, but now we're into the final stage of the map. Karn back on the Sigma, back onto the mirror match here. The Roadhog experiment is over.
Oh, the Gravitic Flux comes out onto the defending team, but that sound barrier from Aero, able to keep all the members alive, and switches Coalescence as well, combining, but they'll just stop this attack dead here.
And once again, a really nice re-engagement there from Astray. They get the early stop, they get the payload moving backwards already, and that kind of guarantees at this point pretty much that unless something changes dramatically, SubZero at best going to finish Nimbani and over.
And given this is a hybrid map, that could result in them only playing for a draw. But anyway, we'll get to that. As great aggression comes in through onto Cash, able to get away with their life though and get healed up eventually. We see almost full bank of ultimates available for SubZero. They're just kiting back away from the supercharger. I like that play. Choro goes a bit low there. Flying rocks. No, you're not going to hit Chinese food from there. He's hiding in the back line. Oh, okay. HK Broke spots out Chinese food as Trev throws in that Death Blossom as well. The supercharged Death Blossom and Coalescence. SubZero throwing in a lot of their ultimates there, but they are able to clean up that fight and get themselves up to the last turn here on the Bunny.
Yeah, well, they knew that they needed to get aggressive, and indeed they do with that supercharger. But now this final fight going to be a bit difficult. A little while yet until the big ultimate's on the line for the side of Astray.
Both DPS going very deep here for Astray, and they're able to pick off a Mixie in the back of that. HK Broke sees what Chinese Food's doing and thinks, I want to do that too. It's a kill's going both ways. Oh, the Gravitic Flux there, bringing all the members of SubZero off the cart. They're able to get back down, courtesy of gravity reasserting itself, but Choro goes down in the middle of that. We see the counter Gravitic Flux now coming on the Crimson, goes down. Cash with the kill there. Oh, the Death Blossom doesn't get much. HK Broke though goes down to Chinese Food, and it looks like the kills are going the way of Astray. As quick swaps the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball. Oh, they will get back, but unfortunately they're really outnumbered on the point here. Choro slamming down. Just to pick up, no, that's the end of that hamster and the end of this push for SubZero. But a decent effort though.
Absolutely, and they don't quite finish the map, mostly thanks to the defensive spawn advantage there. Just so much of a shorter run back for the reinforcements of Astray. They get back into the fight, and I think the kind of crucial turning point late in that fight, as things were starting to swing in SubZero's favor, was the tank duo of Karn and Crimson setting up that halt into the Gravitic Flux combo. It barely caught three members right on the edge of the Flux, and just perfectly sets them up to turn that fight around and to kind of stave off the map completion there. And now for Astray, you've got an opportunity to win this map, finish out the 4-0 sweep, and continue to assert your dominance over the rest of the division.
Yeah. And I like your comment on the tank play. We see that a lot, especially when the Orisa's on the field, that Halt combination with whatever tank you're playing. You see Halt Hook, you see Halt Flux, Halt anything really. And I know from my perspective, I have I often don't really notice the tanks, but they make such a great impact to fight. It's just that little stuff, not the flashy stuff like you see from DPS, but of course a great tank line like we're seeing here from Astray. It really makes a difference in a lot of these fights. And like I said, the tank line enabled Astray to hold the SubZero there and prevent them from completing the map and set themselves up with a nice clear win condition. Essentially, finish the map yourself and you're there.
That's all it's going to take, and it's once again going to be that matchup that we're so familiar with here on Bonnie. I like that approach here. It's going to get them right onto the point.
Oh, Chinese foot goes low, but is able to get out. Crimson is stunned, but wakes up straight away. Trev, I don't know what you're doing there. Oh, he Wraithform through. But Rory with the first kill onto Nistric. This will make it very difficult for SubZero. Crimson goes down, but unfortunately Churro goes down as well. And that looks like that Astray will be able to clean up here. They're just, nice easy fight win there. And they will capture point A.
Yep, they just assert their dominance there, and now they continue to press forward. It's going to be difficult at this point for SubZero. You've already, put yourself in quite a hole with the time bank that Astray are going to have, and the payload already underway. 5.5 minutes left.
Oh, that's going to be very difficult for SubZero. 5.5 minutes is a long defend, but if they can waste a lot of time here on this first corner, that'll work out well for them. DPS going down from both sides at the start of that fight. We see Switches throwing the Coalescence. Trev gets stunned, but is healed up. Cash going very low. Coalescence eating through those shields, so not really any protection afforded, but Trev throws in the Death Boss and gets booped away. Great play there from Aero, I believe. We see kills going both ways, attacking the support down at both sides, so it looks like the advantages of these kills will go to the side of Astray. Chinese food finishing up stronger there. And once they get these cleanup kills, they will continue this cart progress through point B.
Yeah, Karn, the one to really seal the deal there with the gravitic flux towards the tail end of that fight, able to get this payload underway once again, and they continue to press their advantage. They continue to build up this lead, and we are marching ever closer to a sweep here for.
Oh, Rory!
Oh my God!
Wow, going very aggressive, picking up HK, and the Death Blossom was all surviving in the middle of the entire team of SubZero.
That's just rude.
Rory, that's just. I'm loving this. And that's a quick point B for Astray. 5.5 minutes again in the time bank.
Yeah, I mean, he just pops out from around the corner as HK is coming out and just pop right in the face, down immediately, and that is. It takes the knees out from underneath SubZero as they're trying to re-engage.
Okay, Khan getting caught out here on the corner there. But doesn't matter, Rory says, again, Rory does not care, gets in the back line, cuts down Trev. Rory goes down to Nistrix there. It's a very even here. This will slightly favour the defending team. Okay, the Gravitic Flux invested by Cash, but countered by Aero. Chinese food will stay alive in the middle of that. And Chinese.
They're gonna win the fight, but no one has been moving the payload, so there's gonna be an opportunity for a recontest.
Well, I see you say that, but then Astray's getting some nice stagger kills onto SubZero here, so that any recontest that might come through might have to just be staggered people coming in. Crimson gets knocked back by the Accretion Rock there.
It's not gonna be perfect, but they've got a chance here, and they've got ultimates, the Sound Barrier, the Death Blossom.
And Trev opening up there, and the Death Blossom as well over the top. Yes, that's a great work by Trev there, and the rest of SubZero to keep themselves in this map here, and they will force back Astray with 4 minutes 20 in the time bank.
They just barely stave off defeat here on Numbani, but it's going to be a long way to go, and you've got to be essentially perfect from this point out. They do hold on to that sound barrier from Omixay. That's going to be huge. They need that sustain tool to be able to come into this next fight confidently.
And in addition to that, they didn't have to change onto a Wrecking Ball or a Tracer or something, so they've maintained all their current heroes, all their ultimate percentage. As Trev goes in behind, starts duking it out, but is able to get away. Nistric throws in the Coalescence, able to keep the rest of SubZero alive, throws it around the corner, not letting Astray hide from that damage. The Chinese food opens up with a big rocket punch on HK Broke, throws out the Meteor Strike, not able to get the Supercharger, but Rory comes across with the Death Blossom. Khan with the kill on the Trevor as well. Both Reapers actually out of this fight. A great dramatic flux there from Khan. Slaps Cho to the ground. Chinese food getting kills there. Crimson's riding this cart. Okay, the horse riding the cart rather than the horse pulling the cart here. And Astray will win. They will win the bunny, win the match 4-0.
And they just proved to me that they have 100% earned their place as the top team in Division 1 so far. They are yet to lose a match, I believe, and it definitely shows here tonight. They were fantastic from start to finish. They did everything you really could have asked for, even amidst a stiff challenge from SubZero.
Yeah, so it's still a great I'm really impressed with what SubZero did, particularly, I guess, after halftime. They feel they got a little bit lucky on Luna calling to get the points they did, but they came back from those first two maps and they put up one hell of a fight. But fortunately, as you said, not enough. Astray just so aggressive. I mean, Rory leading from the front. That was delightful to see.
It was.
Sometimes.
I mean, I enjoyed this series so much. It felt like a really kind of fluid battle between these two teams, and for me, it was such a treat to get to see a lot of these players that I've been watching for quite a long time. Chinese food, Rory, Crimson, all I think had fantastic showings here tonight, and it was a pleasure to get to watch them once again. And if you think that any of those players stood out, especially to you at home, you can scroll down right below the Twitch stream right now. You can find our MVP poll. There's still a little bit of time to get your votes in before we have that announcement in just a little bit. But before we get to there, it does look like we are going to be joined now for a little bit of a post-match interview. Arrow is joining us. How are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. Pretty good game we played, actually.
Yeah, I would have to imagine you're feeling pretty good about that. It was a really, really, I would say, impressive showing all around. What do you think made the difference for you guys here tonight?
I don't know. We were playing a little bit shaky for a pretty decent part of the first few maps, and even a little bit on fourth map we kind of got a little shaky, but we kind of just always took the time to just kind of stop and reset our mental, make sure that we kept focusing, and that's what kind of kept us together and allowed us to come back even when we were down at some points.
Okay, well, we saw SubZero kind of give you guys a little bit of trouble there. I mean, I think Junkertown was probably the closest map of the entire series, and they were breaking out the Bastion, throwing some different looks at you. What do you think that they were able to do to really kind of make this a little bit close at points?
Well, when they're further Bastion, mainly on first point, their Ana was doing a really solid job of shutting down our Reaper, and there's even a fight where we were going after their Bastion, and their Ana hit a sleep on our Reaper and just totally shut down all our damage, and they were able to sustain through it all, and that was a huge play from their Ana. And yeah, it was pretty much just a play from their Ana, and their lamps were also pretty well timed, so it made slowed us down a lot.
No, absolutely. This has been a really successful season so far for you guys, and to me, on the outside looking in, it kind of feels like there isn't a lot of competition or anyone that has really pushed you so far. Would you say that SubZero has done a better job of that than most your opponents recently?
Yeah, I'd say they're probably one of the better teams in here. It's we've been rolling a lot of the games, but it's still decent competition. So we're kind of just trying to keep the ball rolling and making sure that we stay competitive throughout it.
Okay, so as we continue to kind of look towards your team in the future, what are kind of the goals for you and the rest of Astray?
Well, right now our goal is mainly to get through the trials part and get into the main tournament so we can start playing the better teams, because we look forward to the tournament experience against much more experienced teams, I suppose. So that's our main goal right now.
Absolutely, I definitely understand that. But before we let you go, I want to see Temporal. Do you have any questions for Arrow?
Yeah, your teams, I guess, really often went in very hyper aggressive. Is that a deliberate style choice that you'd like to play normally, or is this just something you thought you picked up on that maybe SubZero would have trouble with, and you thought, why not go for it for this match?
Generally we prioritize playing a lot more aggressive. We kind of change up our tempo a lot depending on positioning, and we also kind of read how the enemy plays and kind of change how we play off that. So it changes a lot between teams that we play, but generally aggression is key for the way we play.
Cool.
All right. Well, I think that just about covers it for us here, Arrow. I do want to thank you for giving us a little bit of your time to talk about the series here tonight, and congratulations on the victory. Before we let you go, I do just want to give you the opportunity to plug anything that you would like to, give shout outs to people behind the scenes, plug streams, do anything like that. Now is the time for it.
I don't have too much to promote, I won't lie.
Okay, fair enough. Everybody just keep an eye on Astray. They really impressed me here tonight, and I think they're going to be a great team going forward. And thank you again to Arrow for giving us a little bit of your time.
All right, no problem. Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, Temporal, that was quite a series to kick off the night.
Jeez, yeah, and as I think you were alluding to it before, it was a 4-0, but it didn't feel like a stomping 4-0. It was, there was chances there. SubZero could have taken Junkertown, a little more dicey on Numbani, but they put up a great showing, and they picked up as the series went on. So I think they can take away from that. They're capable of great performances. Maybe just need to tighten up a little bit.
No, I definitely agree with you there.
Yeah.
I think this is the kind of series you can come away from as a team like SubZero. You can go back, you can watch this pod, and you can really come away with a lot of things to work on, because this is a team in Astray that was just slightly better than you for most of the night, and there's a lot of opportunities to tighten things up and to find opportunities for improvement.
Yeah, and I'm hoping players like Cash, they look back at the performance and they see that how great they were. I mean, that Junkertown eating 2 or 3 blizzards, that's really, really great play, and that's I guess that's just the little things that might help them keep in it. And like we saw on Horizon Lunar Colony, taking advantage of other teams' mistakes. They're capable of seeing when the other team goes a bit too far, a bit too fast, and is able to take advantage of that. So they're not. I don't want to say they're not something. Yeah, they know what they're doing. It's just practice, which I guess is the key for everything.
Okay, well, that's going to bring us pretty much to the end of the broadcast here, at least for now. We're going to be back in just a little while at 10 o'clock with the second game of the evening, Dirt taking on Capybara in that one. Don't go anywhere, or go grab a snack, go take a little bit of break. We'll be back in just a little while. Before we go, I do just want to let everybody know, Chinese food is going to be coming away with that Viewers MVP award here tonight. Got the most votes, and I gotta say, well deserved here tonight. Really kind of the flex god for the side of Astray. Came through in the clutch for them, had a fantastic showing all night. I cannot fault that pick one bit. No,
it's a great flexibility. I mean, showing off the May, the Doomfist, the Farah, just love that player. Yeah. Actually, I really like both the DPS from Astray tonight.
Yeah, that was a fantastic combo there, and it leads them to the 4-0 victory over SubZero. They secure their hold over the top of Division 1. And it's been a pleasure casting with you here, Temporal. It's been such a fun series. We're not done just yet. So why don't you let everyone at home know where they can find you, plug anything you got, Twitch streams, anything like that.
I'd like to plug the hole in my sink.
Okay.
I've got nothing to plug. You can find me here on Star Esports. Hopefully more often, just to plug myself a little bit. But
okay.
Yeah, I like Arrow. I exist.
Fair enough, and we'll continue on existing until we get to that second series. We'll see everybody on the other side of this break.